Can you take CJC-1295 and semaglutide together? This is a great question because so many people are leaning into these GLP-1 agonists, and that's a glucagon-like peptide, like semaglutide. Semaglutide, also known as Ozempic, it's a powerful weight loss molecule. It's a beautiful peptide. GLP-1s exist in our body, and the real reason why you can stack these peptides together is because you're going to preserve some of the muscle mass that you could potentially lose when you're losing weight. And so in this video, I'll share with you the right way to stack them together. I'll also talk to you about the wrong ways and some of the benefits of using these peptides together. I'm Regan Archibald. I became obsessed with peptides over a decade ago because I saw the way that they led to greater levels of health in shorter periods of time. I found that the GLP-1s specifically, they turn off that hunger noise so that you can actually make the lifestyle changes that you want. It's not about laziness. It's actually about this mechanism that's been broken based on the society we live in, where we have access to food 24/7. So I don't see it as a cheat code. I see it as replenishing the body's own signals so that we can actually listen to the real meaning and the real communication our bodies are trying to give us. The downside of using something like semaglutide is it delays gastric emptying. You can get nauseated from it. And one of the things that we see people do is they go in a massive caloric deficit. And then not only are they losing some of the fat, but they're losing muscle. And especially at the doses that are prescribed, they're in a far too high of a dose before their body can titrate up and respond to that new influx of GLP-1. So when you use CJC, we're going to talk about some of the ways that you can mitigate some of the side effects, but more importantly, how it can lead to better levels of health and optimization. So if you combine these, you want to think, what does semaglutide do? What is it? Well, originally it was approved for type 2 diabetes. It does lower hemoglobin A1C. So one of the benefits of these GLP-1s is called insulin sensitivity. There's a great book by Benjamin Bickman, Why We Get Sick, and he basically traces every single disease known back to metabolic dysfunction. Now, if you're somebody who you're frustrated because your weight won't come off, you're like, man, I've done all of the diets, I go to the gym, and I just can't lose weight. I'm 30 pounds overweight, I'm 10 pounds overweight, I can't get to that body composition that I want, but I'm afraid to go on the GLP-1s because I've seen the things on social media, Ozempic face and the pancreatitis and all these issues that come up with it. Well, there's a safe way of doing it. The first way you want to do it is get your blood labs ran. My team and I were all trained in functional medicine, and we take a deep dive into everything that's going on in your labs, and then we can predict what peptides are going to be best for you, and we'll do our best to mitigate any of the downside effects of like semaglutide. Now, semaglutide is a peptide we rarely use. We'd only use it in cases where you've got some kind of addiction. If you're trying to get rid of alcohol and you just can't unwind without it at night. Well, semaglutide, I remember one of my clients, he said, Regan, I'm really mad at you. And I'm like, why are you mad at me? You're doing great. You've already lost 20 pounds and it's only been 2 months. He's like, no, I don't like the way alcohol tastes. And so he's like, it's a big part of my culture. You know, he surrounded himself with, social activities that, were built around bars and alcohol. And I said, great, that's not going to get you to your longevity goals. And unfortunately, alcohol just doesn't really propel us into that future that we all want. But he did get much healthier. GLP-1, the semaglutide specifically, has now been studied for alcoholism. I mean, it is breathtaking, the beautiful thing. We're actually finding, because GLP-1 is made by your brain, there's GLP-1 receptors in your brain, made primarily in gastric, in your stomach, your large intestine. But one of the things that we're finding is even for like schizophrenia and bipolar, finding it's a mood stabilizer. So there's so many benefits to it. But we typically would use like dual agonists, like tirzepatide has lower side effect profiles. So if you don't have the addiction propensity, tirzepatide works really well. Even if you do, we found that tirzepatide can seem to blunt that desire and do something that's not good for you. But the best one is retatrutide. And retatrutide is a triple agonist. People are calling it a GLP-3, even though it's a GLP-1. It's got glucagon and GIP. phenomenal peptide. And then when you're using it with CJC-1295, here's the benefit. Well, number one is you'll preserve lean muscle mass. Anytime your body has greater levels of growth hormone or IGF-1, your body recovers faster. It's able to hold on to muscle. You get new vascularity. You get greater levels of nitric oxide. So really powerful. The reason why you'd want to use something that stabilizes glucose if you're using CJC-1295 is based on the fact that CJC-1295, in certain studies, it can increase glucose a little bit. It lowers the sensitivity for glucose to being transported into the tissue. Now, there's a study where they looked at this combination, and this study is called Growth Hormone Secretagogue Impact on Glucose. And this one was more specific to growth hormone. It was done in Germany. And what was done is they took growth hormone deficient adult subjects, and they were given growth hormone replacement over 1 week and 6 months. And they found that glucose metabolism was measured before and after, and they did this through oral glucose tolerance test, which is a nasty one where you drink the sugar water, insulin sensitivity, and they also their overall levels of hemoglobin A1C. But what they found is when they took the growth hormone, this reduced the peripheral glucose uptake, and so it created more insulin resistance, is what that is. And then they found that that just happened in the early phases. What happened is it stabilized. But they found that the increased level of muscle and metabolism after the first couple of weeks, that slight insulin resistance, it came down because of the muscle there. Because your muscle is your biggest disposal system for glucose. The muscle is important for every single aspect of your body. Arguably, one of the most important longevity organs is our muscle. And so by using CJC-1295 and sermorelin, you can maintain muscle mass, but by adding in semaglutide or some of the GLP-1s, you get more insulin sensitivity. And so it's like the best of both worlds. The thing that you want to avoid is if you're using CJC-1295, I would get it stacked with ipamorelin because you're going to have this competing benefit where it comes to eating and food. And so if you're using semaglutide, for example, and ideally you're starting at a very low dose, but then you stack it with CJC, your hunger may outweigh the noise cancellation from semaglutide, and so it may even it out. You may not get any benefits from the caloric restriction if that's what you need. So, be cautious on that. The other thing that you want to watch out for is working on the gut, because you're going to have a delaying in gastric emptying, so make sure you're getting your enzymes, you're keeping your hydrochloric acid levels activated, and you've got good gut motility. Otherwise, all the weight that you're losing, it's a lot of toxicity that gets replenished in the body that we want to push out. So take these together, works really well. Add in BPC 157, add in KPV, GHK copper, TB500, and you'll notice enormous benefits. So if you love going deeper into the world of peptides and health optimization, we'd love to help you out. All you need to do is go to agelessfuture.com. We'll provide a link in the show notes and get your blood work done. We'll look at 120 plus different markers that relate to cardiovascular function, cognitive function, kidney clearance, detoxification, and we'll help you get your health exactly where you want it in the shortest amount of time possible without risking future health. I'm Regan Archibald. I'll see you on the next video.